I'm gonna get on there from my end too. I want to make sure that we fucking piece of shit computer. God damn it!
All right, here we go with the opener.
Trying to make sure we're getting monetized.
To the Rob, Comrade, and Kale Show. Rob.
I don't care. My jokes don't go over. I don't care.
Comrade, Mike Dobreski.
I don't care. We hate you. I don't care.
And Kale Hall.
This is stupid. Making noises on the show. You're like a crazy person. Why do you do this to your father and I?
The Rob, Comrade, and Kale podcast.
And welcome in to the latest edition of the Rob, Comrade, and Kale podcast. My name is Rob Sanders. I represent the Clemson Tigers, one of the top-ranked teams in the country. I've got two co-hosts. One of them, his dog is barking right now. His dog is very happy, but he's also happy because Will Muschamp got fired. He is, of course, Kale Hall. Kale, what's up, brother?
Hey, I'm just glad to be here Sunday night, my favorite night of the week. Glad I have a job to go to in the morning. I didn't get fired today on my day off. That would have really fucking sucked, like some people. But hey, no, seriously, just looking forward to starting over. And we've been put behind about 5 years now, so probably got a few more rocky ones ahead of us, but I think this will turn out to be for the good. So I'm optimistic.
Well, we'll get into that momentarily. Let's welcome in the one person who was the last person to get off the boom bus. He is the Comrade, Mike Dobreski. Mike, good evening, sir.
It is good to be here. It's a bittersweet night. It's a bittersweet night. I had a lot of anger Saturday night, and I was kind of glad we didn't have a podcast Saturday night because I was just probably going to say some things that I would regret later on, and I may lose my job after I've done a podcast Saturday night. So I'm kind of glad we did. And now he's been fired, and I feel like my anger has kind of gone away a little bit now because he's been fired. But I was livid about just what we looked like Saturday night. So had to happen, but I'm a little bit concerned about the timing, I guess. But we'll get that later on.
We're going to get into that momentarily. I wish that I could make it easy for Gamecock fans this evening, but I just want to play this. Yeah.
Touchdown! Ole Miss!
Those motherfuckers are still scoring.
Well,
yeah, anyway.
That being said, so are we.
By the way, one quick note before we get out of here, or before we get into it too much.
We're leaving so soon. That was a quick show. Damn.
That was a quick show, but how shitty is he to think that DJ Durkin is a great fucking assistant? Look what he gave up the most touchdowns ever on the ground to one player for South Carolina. Muschamp was singing his praises last week. Holy shit.
I will say this about Ole Miss's defense, okay? Ole Miss's defensive problems appears to be a talent issue. They seem like they play hard, and they seem like they're physical. They just are a talent issue. Our defense is like the guy will be open by 25 yards, and all our defense does is then look at each other like that was you, but have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
They they're not physical at all. Like there is no they react, yet they don't really do anything when they react. They sit there and look at each other like, that's your man, who have no clue what they're doing. I've never seen a team so badly coached in my life. And we were always taught growing up that if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not sure what to do, at least go 100% and be physical and make your mistake 100%. Don't just half-ass it. I'm not sure if I'm going here or not. Just decide. I'm going to go this way. I'm not sure if it's right, but I'm going to go 100% that way. And so Ole Miss to do that. So Ole Miss to do that at least on their part.
Yeah. Well, let's thank our sponsors really quick here, and we'll get into everything. I've got some interesting information that came out just a little bit ago that we'll share. Callaway's Bar and Grill out in West Columbia, Highway 1, diagonal from the Walmart in West Columbia. Go by, get yourself some. They are some happy folks over there because they've been wanting Will Muschamp gone for a while now. So Cheddar Bob texted me earlier, and he was happier than a pig in slop. So I'll tell you what. But anyway, Callaway's Bar and Grill, Callaway'sBarandGrill.com. Also, DNC Trucking and Transport, the No Spin Zone segment, the guy who knew Will Muschamp was a failure from the start, Dennis Wilson, injects some truth into the program with the Comrade. Comrade, read away.
Oh, I got to pull it up. Hold on. I wasn't expecting it real quick. All right. It sucks to be a Gamecock. Clemson is the elite program in the state of South Carolina. South Carolina players picked number 1 overall are number 1 in name only. Conley was picked first overall. He has made $27 million less than Nuke Hopkins has made in his career. I'm not sure that's true. Is that not some shit? The only thing that pays off at South Carolina is buyouts for bum coaches. Congrats to Dustin Johnson on winning the Masters. He is from Irmo, not Columbia. He also went to Coastal Carolina. Betty Wilson hates me, and when little Dennis smells like country ham. It sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
That message courtesy of Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport. The No Spin Zone segment with the Comrade. We appreciate Dennis sponsoring the show. All right, so to get into it, we're going to get you guys' thoughts in a moment, but just to give you the whole release of it, Will Muschamp let go 28-30 at South Carolina. A couple of interesting things here. He did produce the most wins by a coach in his first 3 seasons with 22.
He did.
But after a campaign in what's that?
I've only heard that about 800 times. I'm sure everybody.
Well, I've got something. Yeah, but I've got something different.
The winningest program in college football history as well. In a bowl game, postseason game.
It also racked up the most losses by any Gamecocks coach through 4 seasons with 25. So there you go with that. In almost 5 seasons under Muschamp, the AP poll has ranked the Gamecocks just once, number 24 in week 2 of 2018, following a victory over Coastal Carolina. Here's the interesting part, and this is where I want to launch off, and I want Jackpot to go first. President Caslin said today, our search for a new head football coach begins today, and I have every confidence that Coach Tanner will find the right person to lead our program. I know how much football means to our students, faculty, alumni, and donors. I share that passion. Our priority remains winning a championship at the University of South Carolina. Jackpot, we're going to let you go first. Ray Tanner's leading the charge, according to your president. Go.
Well, I mean, you can only have it so many damn ways. I mean, everybody bitches about they don't want him making the hire. They don't want him calling the damn shots. I mean, what? So he hired a shitter head coach. Okay, it doesn't mean that he can't make a better hire this time. That was I mean, he fucked up one time. But he's the damn athletic director. That's his fucking job. I mean, evidently he must be doing pretty good in other facets of it because I've kept him around. So I mean, I'm just tired of hearing that. Either you want him gone or you don't. Now you don't want this one to make the damn decision. It's not going to be to suit everybody. I mean, it's just not. Things just don't work out that way. So let me be frank. I mean, I'm glad that this damn abysmal fucking shithead is gone from the head coaching position at our beloved university, and somebody's got to make the call. I'm sure that he'll have some help. So
yeah, he's not gonna make it. I get sick of the narrative though of that Tanner fucked up the search last time, and I got a Gamecock fan on Twitter go, he fucked it up last time. I go, explain to me how he fucked it up. Well, we had all that time to hire someone, and he waited until the season was over. I'm like, jackass, you can't hire a coach while they're still coaching somewhere else in the regular season. He could have went and got Kirby Smart right away, but he waited till Georgia fired Richt. Kirby Smart was not going to come here until the regular season was over, and he knew for sure that Georgia was going to fire Richt. Like, the stupidity. Okay, Ray Tanner had a choice to make. His first choice was Tom Herman, who turned him down. And by the way, Tom Herman has been shit at Texas, so he wouldn't have done anything here. Okay, it's right there. And people get mad. Well, Ray Tanner should have convinced him. Okay, well, I don't understand how that works. He couldn't convince him. Okay, second choice is Kirby Smart, who had a handshake deal with him and basically said, I'll come there as long as Georgia doesn't fire Mark Richt. Georgia found out about that and said, guess what, Mark Richt, you're fucking gone. So the third choice was Muschamp. Now, people can have all kinds of stuff like, well, they should have hired, what's the dude in Minnesota? They should have hired him. Okay, and the dude bringing up, they didn't know he was in this name that 6 years ago.
About him then.
Like it's like, oh sure, Crystal Ball, you're a great AD. He should have.
Hold on. Jackpot had a great statement.
Go ahead. Resume by that point.
Exactly.
So I mean, to say Tom Herman would have sucked here. Do we agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Kirby Smart. Would Kirby Smart be any better here?
Except Spurrier, but go on.
Would Kirby Smart be any better? Probably not.
I honestly don't know. I don't think Kirby Smart's very good right now.
I don't see how we blame Tanner for this. Obviously, it was a time where there were shit coaches available, and he chose Muschamp as a third choice.
Hold on. There were shit coaches available, but there were a lot of unknowns. You could have went with established retread or take a jump at an unknown. And that's where we go now.
I will say this now. There are people who said he should have stuck with Elliott. I will remind you, though, that Elliott was the coach that lost to the Citadel. Okay? Now, maybe if he beats the Citadel, that Clemson game was close, maybe it was. Now, listen, I'm on board now saying, you know what? I would not be all that mad if we brought Elliott back, just from the standpoint that we've never tried to bring someone back who has the ties to the area in terms of, is a Gamecock fan, grew up a Gamecock fan, knows what it's like, and done that. But there are people who say you should have done that. Well, I'm not sure if Elliott would have done any differently. I'm not sure he's doing different now. But the point is, here's my issue with the AD thing. It's not that I don't trust Tanner to make the right call. It's the fact that it's pretty clear that Tanner's going to retire soon. And I just don't like the idea of, and listen, not that they can't work, but I kind of want the AD of the future to make this call, because you don't want a situation where you have to hire AD, and when a new AD comes in, they tend to want to make changes. And now suddenly you might have a situation where the coach we hire now and the AD don't get along because it wasn't his guy. Now, maybe Caslin, because obviously he cares more about sports than he does university, maybe Caslin is the pseudo AD guy and is going to be like, well, it's going to be my guy I choose. And that's fine, too. I mean, my wife can't stand Caslin because she's an academic part of Carolina. She thinks he doesn't do shit for the academics part. But for football fans, he seems like a great president because he really gives a shit about football and sports. So that's my only issue with the whole timing of it, is that I would prefer a new AD, not because I don't trust Tanner, but just to have it like new AD's in, he gets to choose his guy, and we have a brand new fresh start.
Lots of great comments over there. Kale, what you got, buddy?
I wanted to give a shout here to Matty Smith's Alabama fan. He says, Scar, Buried, Burried, Holt, Spurrier, and Muschamp. Who's the next victim to this coaching graveyard called Columbia, South Carolina? Mike, off the top of your head, what was Spurrier's record at South Carolina? I know it was pretty good at one point.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, so I don't know where he was exactly buried at, sir. I mean, he had one bad year, one really bad year where the wheels fell off. Which, I mean, he only got credit for half of it. So
you can make a case that Spurrier improved his legacy here because, remember, he went to the NFL and got his ass beat. And then he came back to Carolina, quote-unquote, a bottom feeder in the SEC, and became the all-time winningest coach here, like he was at Florida, and he led them to an SEC championship game. And when he got in the basketball game the first time after he was hired, and he said, and we had a game, it was on the night of the SC championship game was being played that night as watching the basketball game. And he goes, my goal is to have us play in Atlanta on this night sometime in the near future. And I remember Taters laughing their dicks off about that statement, and he did it. Now you can sit there, oh, crappy ass year, but so the fact is, if I would have told a Gamecock fan when he was hired that at some point he would get us to Atlanta and we would finish in the top 10 for 3 straight years under Spurrier, I think everyone signs up for that shit. Right. I think they do. Listen, he had some losses that still bother me. We had some teams that I thought could have done better. We had some bad losses in there that fucked up a season. I get that. But at the same token,
where you are now, you would go back to where Spurrier had you before. Not even the top 10 years, just the mediocre fucking years. You'd much rather have that than what you got right now. I mean, because right now you're not very good.
Curtis Shaw over on the chat says, has a head coach at South Carolina ever went on to become a head coach again? Yes. Sparky Woods coached for a year or two at VMI.
There you go, bitches.
Little known fact, but true.
Yeah.
By the way, this is the first time we have fired a coach in 28 years that did not have me on the Gamecock roster at one point. Think about that for a second.
Holy shit.
Sparky Woods, I was on the roster. Brad Scott, I was on the roster for a little while. Last 2 coaches who got fired had me in common. I feel like the weight's off my shoulders now. You can't fire me, bitches.
We'll take calls this evening. You can call right now, 803-470-2905. I'm with Brock Lee. I think Kale. Can you imagine Kale on the sideline? Can you imagine what Kale would have done to who's the wide receiver that you guys have? His name slips my head a little bit. The guy that last night. Yeah. Can you imagine what he would have done to Shi Smith for that bullshit he did last night, pulling off his helmet, being a complete fucko? Kale would have lost his damn mind last night.
It's amazing. I don't want to be the old guy who doesn't like the kids, let the kids play, but like we suck right now, though. We just suck. Like we're really good. Top 10 teams do that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on top 10 teams, coaches get pissed about it too. Caller, what's your name? You're in the air. Go.
Hey, it's McD Sports 4. I just want to give a quick name that I think South Carolina fans should be maybe thinking about that no one else is really bringing up that was mentioned earlier in the show. And that guy is Mark Richt. I don't know if he's interested in coaching, but if he is, I think that's definitely a name South Carolina should definitely think about. He has SEC experience. He had many winning seasons in Georgia. And let's be real, South Carolina is a second-class program behind Georgia and Florida.
Right.
So I think he'll be a great fit. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Let's replace the Georgia coach of Georgia ties with another coach of Georgia ties. Let's just
wait a minute. Stop getting so pissed. Will Muschamp may already have another job. This just in from Vols Wire, you Tennessee fans. Congratulations, you may be getting Will Muschamp on your team. Reading right here from the release, South Carolina relieves Will Muschamp of his head coaching duties. Tennessee staff is one of that faces 3 assistant coaches with expiring contracts. Following the season, Will Freeze, the offensive line coach, T. Martin, Brian Niedermeyer. Pruitt will also fill a vacant defensive line position. The third-year head coach and Muschamp respect one another and have a friendship in the coaching profession. Muschamp could serve in the capacity of co-defensive coordinator and coach linebackers, a position he's seen at LSU, Auburn, and Texas. Wow. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but that's from
he's going to get a job.
Circle jerk. I mean,
he won't be a head coach again in the Power 5 school, but he's always going to have a job.
Let Jackpot get out what he had to say there, because that's funny. What were you saying there, Jackpot?
Just like the Saban guys, you got Kirby and you got Boom Boy and them, Jeremy Pruitt and whoever else. I mean, it's like they intermingle and they're all going to take care of each other.
Yeah, it's a fraternity.
And by the way, Florida State fans, several tweets today of Florida State fans, they want Will Muschamp. Several of them. One guy said, bring T-Rob with you. I think that Cale Hall would bake them some cookies and send them on down the line.
T-Rob is up for a head coaching gig.
Yeah, he is.
The fuck?
He is.
Yeah.
He's at a small school. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just I worry about I don't know. Yeah, so I will say this. Listen, I get why people are happy. I mean, after the A&M game, I realized that this is not going to work. Okay, after yesterday's game, I said, I wanted to fire him last night too, but then I kind of slept on and said, no, we need to kind of the goal. See, the goal here is to hire somebody who's going to be here for 20 years, right? That's the goal. The ultimate goal is a football coach who's going to be here for 20 years. Okay. And I just want the process to be. I don't know. I'm worried about we're going to have. I don't know. I'm worried about the process. Okay, but I don't know. And I don't know the answer is. I'm not sure who's going to work here. I have no idea, and I'm afraid to even champion somebody because I'm the kiss of fucking death. I'll tell you that right now. To ask Darren Horn and fucking Will Muschamp, two of the guys I love the most when we hired them.
803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. If you want to join us on the show this evening, my pick, and if I were in the AD chair, and I mentioned this last night on WVOC here in Columbia, my two picks, first of all, is Dave Clawson at Wake Forest. And I know Gamecock fans will look at me like, man, you're just stupid, and we're above that. If you want a guy that's going to build your program,
we're not above anything.
Would you let me finish, fuckstick? Please, sir.
No.
I'll just mute your ass. I don't give a shit. We'll head to the phones. Welcome in. What's your name?
Hi. Whaler.
Hi, Whaler. What's up?
Didn't used to be a sound.
On the show to talk about Will Muschamp.
What do you got for the show, buddy?
Well, I think all the tea leaves are written that it's going to be Hugh Freeze.
Right. I don't think that's going to happen. Hugh Freeze signed a contract through 2026 just last week with Liberty. So if the Gamecocks are going to pay that contract off.
Let me explain to you how that works.
Sure.
Okay. Hugh Freeze went to Liberty, and they kind of bailed him out. So he's doing the school a solid by signing that contract so that whoever hires him has to pay a bigger buyout. So that's kind of his thank you back to the school. The only reason South Carolina's firing Muschamp in the middle of the season is because there's a race for Hugh Freeze, and they want to get front and center on it.
All right. Well, okay. So are you in the Hugh Freeze camp? Is that who you want, or do you want somebody else?
Well, actually, I grew up a Gamecock, but I went to the school at University of Georgia for school, so I'm scared of Hugh Freeze coming to South Carolina. So as a Gamecock, I would be all in to get Hugh Freeze. As a Georgia Bulldog, I'm scared as shit. That's who they'll hire.
All right. Well, there you go. So one vote for Hugh Freeze tonight. Hey, man, thanks for calling, buddy. We appreciate it.
I don't get the Hugh Freeze. What was his record at Ole Miss? Wasn't it like 7-5 every year?
Oh, he was 14 games over 500.
He started out. What season was that? 2013 or 2014?
He started in 2012. He was 7-6 that year, 8-5 the following year, 9-4 the year after that, 10-3. Then they fell back to 5-7. He also went they went 5-7 his final year, and that's the year that he had issues. So I don't get I know that everybody wants Hugh Freeze, but understand this guy, they're still dealing with his bullshit at Ole Miss now. I mean, if that's what you want, then okay.
You couldn't tell it last night.
Yeah. Like their records. I mean, that record's not horrible. The record's not horrible, but it isn't great.
He's over 500.
He had to cheat though to get that. Like if you're going to cheat, you better be going 11-1. Not going 8-5 or 8-4 in cheating. I mean, 8-4 in cheating is kind of like I question that. It's kind of like taking steroids in baseball. You're taking steroids and 20 homers a year. I kind of wonder about you. Hit 70. Take steroids. So I don't know.
remember, he resigned because of a pattern of personal misconduct. Let's see here. I mean, remember what happened? He was caught. It was strippers and cocaine, basically. I mean, it wasn't exactly very good. But
I don't see us hiring him for that reason too.
Welcome into the show. What's your name?
I was Texas A&M fan.
Who do you want to coach the South Carolina Gamecocks, sir?
Well, how about that guy at Cincinnati? I don't know his name, but they're doing pretty good up there at Cincinnati.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll come here or not. I don't know. I mean, that's a good question.
Or you could get Terry Bowden. I think Terry Bowden's available.
All right.
Why not get Bobby Bowden? Let's get Bobby.
That's the one I want.
Hey,
all right.
Hey, listen, I'm getting a little worried about this COVID shit. They got that 14-day quarantine rule, and A&M and Ole Miss they may cancel that shit too. Nick Saban was saying it shouldn't be 14 days; it'd be like 7 days or so. I mean, so at least we got Saban on board, but otherwise, I think we're gonna have some serious problems here going down the road.
Good point, man. Good point, buddy. Hey, thanks for calling the show, buddy. We appreciate you listening every week.
Okay, good luck to y'all on the job search, on the coach search. I hope y'all get somebody that's respectable.
Thanks, man. Have a good night. All right, there we go. 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Back to what I was saying. I like Dave Clausen. I like Jamie Chadwell. I think both of those are solid. The Comrade's probably hoping they dig up Bear Bryant. I don't know. Back out to the phones we go. Welcome in. What's your name?
My name's Mark. I was calling to see what you think that the firing for Will Muschamp, how it'll affect Gunnar Stockton, his commit, and Colton Gaither, all the commits we have moving forward.
Well, that may be part of the reason, having Bobo to fill in. I mean, it was the most logical choice anyway, but who was his recruiter? It wasn't Bobo that recruited him, was it, Mike? I can't remember on that.
No, but here's the thing.
Stockton has a big background with Mike's dad. I mean, if Bobo is staying as offensive coordinator, I mean, moving forward, if another head coach comes in, who's to say that they're going to keep Bobo as an offensive coordinator?
They won't. I'm told that Gunnar Stockton chose the Gamecocks because he's a Gamecock fan. Connor Shaw is his hero, and that's why he's coming here. And he said, now listen, he's 17, 18-year-old. I mean, they can change their mind.
His high school.
Yeah,
Christ,
but he basically said that he's not coming here. I mean, he said he likes the coaches, okay, but he's not coming here because of the coaches. He's coming here because of the school. So now maybe he's bullshitting everybody. But I mean, now other recruits have a point. One thing I'm bringing up, I know everyone's celebrating the firing, okay? And I understand why, and it brings us hope. But when you do fire a coach, and there's a transition period where you're going to lose some recruits. I mean, this happened at Clemson, and Clemson fans always whine about this shit when they fired Tommy Bowden. Apparently, they had Stephon Gilmore was coming there, and because of the firing, Gilmore changed his mind, came to Carolina. That led to Lattimore coming here, and then Clowney coming here, the little thing there. But people, now I'm not sure, I don't follow recruiting like a lot of people do, but I'm told that Gilmore was a Clemson commit, and the firing kind of made him decommit and come to Carolina. So you're going to have that happen. That's going to happen, but sometimes a move has to be made. Eventually going to make a move anyway, but that can happen. But I think Gunnar Stockton is going to be a Gamecock regardless, because it doesn't sound like it's about the coaching thing. Now, obviously, if you hire somebody you can't stand, maybe, but I'm sure they're going to hire somebody who's offensive-minded, because in this day and age in football, you need someone offensive-minded, and I think he'll like that. Like a Billy Napier, if you hire Billy Napier, it's not, I'm sure Gunnar Stockton like that. If you hire someone, even if you go to Hugh Freeze route, whatever. But, I mean, I'm just saying, I think Gunnar Stockton's safe. Everybody else, though, that's a problem. But that's definitely a problem.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
See you guys. Thanks for calling in.
Appreciate it.
All right, there you go. Appreciate that, buddy. So yeah, that's the other thing too, is that I don't know who's going to come or go. Someone messaged me about that earlier.
The Georgia man was saying right after Gunnar Stockton committed to South Carolina that the only reason he didn't commit to UGA was because they had such a deep and talented quarterback room. And now you see them this year trotting out a quarterback that looks like Tattoo from Fantasy Island. And can't throw the ball more than 8 yards down the damn field. Yeah, you're deep, all right. You're deep in something. Didn't Muschamp's son go to play quarterback there? Or will they go give him a shot?
I don't know. they could do no worse than what would you call him? Stetson Jackass, Comrade?
Yeah, Stedman Jackass. Which makes no
Welcome
damn
into
sense.
the show. Good evening. What's your name? Hello.
My Tyler, how you doing tonight?
Tyler, what's up, brother?
Oh, nothing much. I just saw. I just want to say a shout out to Carolina Jackpot. I'm a USC fan out here in Colorado, and I just got the news about Will Muschamp being fired. My cousin from South Carolina just texted me, so it's a good day to be a Gamecock. So that's what I'm calling in.
Well, There you go. Appreciate you calling. Go ahead, Conrad.
We really appreciate that.
We got people calling us from Colorado.
Jackpot, I watch your stuff all the time, man. Love what you do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's good to hear. It's good. It's good. It's like some positive, positive energy going on right there. So I really appreciate you doing that. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. So I can't wait to be back there in Columbia with my cousin. I love going to games at Willie B. Best place to go see a college football game.
Damn right.
I agree. It's going to be even better now.
Columbia's a great city.
Yeah.
Hoop city. Green Jacket
definitely.
City.
And
college baseball mecca.
A lot of Gamecocks here out. So Colorado's where I live, but I'm a huge USC fan. And so that's why I'm calling it all the way from Colorado.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you guys have a great night. Go Gamecocks.
There we go. The folks calling us out from Colorado.
The YouTube from TTV Teepsy. Pin mine. Carolina made a mistake right here firing Muschamp. We'll see. I mean, it's the lesser of two evils. You have a decommitment or two. You have a couple of players quit on you. I mean, which one? What do you do? I mean, you can't have it both ways. And something had to change. So
out to the phones.
Yeah.
Good evening. What's your name? Welcome to the show.
My name is Justin.
Hi, Justin. What you got for the show? Yeah, doing great, buddy. What you got for the show?
What about Matthew Campbell? Do you think he might be a good fit at South Carolina?
I could see that. Maybe. I mean, there's a lot. You could throw any name on the wall right now. I mean, is that someone that you two guys would want to be Matt Campbell from? I mean, that might be an idea. I don't know.
That was a big. Everybody was talking about him. Was it last year? As a potential candidate for bigger jobs. But now nobody's really talking about him. And that seems to happen a lot. People were talking a lot about UNC Charlotte coach earlier in the year, and then they stopped talking about him for whatever reason. I don't know. It's like the damn flavor of the month.
I will say this, though. The Gamecocks, they're buying out Muschamp, okay? They have to pay off all these other coaches' contracts. I don't think they're going to be – I'm not sure what Matt Campbell's buyout is, but the Gamecocks can't afford a whole lot of buying out coaches under contract. Now, buying out a Billy Napier may not be that big of a deal. Buying out a Hugh Freeze, I'm not sure the Liberty thing is, but I'm not sure what Iowa State has. I mean, I'm just saying I would kind of – but listen, I don't know. But the fact they fired Muschamp tells me that a booster must have stepped up and said, here's my checkbook. Go do it. So
Matt Campbell will be out there at Iowa State too, and you got to think right now he is at a Big 12 program that is above average, and I would say cusping on being in like the Big 3 of the Big 12, and then he would be going cross country to an area he's never coached in, never recruited in, to coach a team that's at the bottom of the Southeastern Conference. I don't think that would make much sense for him.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, caller, what's your name? Welcome to the show.
Hi, my name is James Vaughn, and I enjoy y'all's show. I'm a Georgia fan, but I do like the Gamecocks. Okay.
What?
I just want to say, yeah, it was time for a change. I mean, Muschamp, y'all gave him 5 years, and I think Will Muschamp will probably. I think he might go to Georgia because his son plays at Georgia, so he might be a new DC there. I mean, I don't know, but whoever. But I just want to say, I hope y'all get a good coach that knows the SEC and knows about winning.
Thanks, man.
Whatever the fuck. Ken, I want to give a shout out over on YouTube. Tater fan Ted McNair. No one worth a shit wants to come to South Carolina. Shit, y'all suck worse than Arkansas. Yeah, that's because Arkansas replaced their shitty fucking head coach after last season. They got better. That's what you do. Who was also
welcome to the show. Good evening.
Hey, how's it going?
What's your name, buddy?
Philly fan. Well, my name's Evan.
Hi, Evan.
Yeah.
What you got for
Hey,
us?
Evan, do you like teams in Philly?
What's that?
Do you like teams in Philly?
I mean, I like the Philadelphia Eagles a little bit, yeah, because I was a kid.
I just wondered. I can tell that in your voice. So I don't know why.
What you got for the show, buddy?
Yeah, I got a kind of a style when I talk a little bit, but well, first off, Urban Meyer. What do we think about that? Is that possible or no? Not possible.
No.
What the fuck?
Virtual Kale answering for I think all three of us. I mean, you don't have enough murderers on your team to fucking make a difference. So,
Urban Meyer is. I don't think he coaches again. If he does coach, it's gonna be at like Southern Cal.
It's gonna be a name school.
Notre Dame. If Brian Kelly goes NFL like that, and even then, I'm not sure he does it. But he's not. He wants to go somewhere where he can win like now, not like I need to go ahead and pull off a fucking miracle, and rebuild. So no,
the jokes with Carolina Jackpot being a coach, that's not going to happen, right? Carolina Jackpot's not going to be a coach.
I don't know. I don't know. I asked Cal today. I asked Cal if he got a phone call,
but I'm not.
He's been contacted.
I've been
contacted
about
Carolina
school,
Jackpot
but I'm
over
not
Will
at
Muschamp.
liberty to discuss right now.
Yeah,
That's
Not at
fine.
liberty.
He's gonna keep that shit in the house.
Dennis Wilson with a great comment over there. Can y'all afford to buy out the Dutch Fork High School head coach? Hey, man, thanks for calling the show. Appreciate you. All right, phone line. We're going to take more calls this evening.
The coach in Independence in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Still the same one.
Yeah, I think so. 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905.
You know what I want? I want my
Ole Miss.
Chris Rumpf to come back. That's what I want. Say it right now. That'd be a long shot. Outsider. Not outsider, but a name you don't hear.
Yeah, my vote for all of these, I'd go with Jackpot overall. Why not? Good evening. What's your name? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, my name is Kevin.
Kevin, what you got for the show, man?
I just want to talk about the coaching search.
What you got?
I think they should make Bob Stoops tell them no.
We haven't talked about Bob Stoops, gentlemen. That's kind of the South Carolina way they go. Go and get somebody who's established themselves over time. And I goof with Comrade about Brad Scott, which was the one time that they took a shot at an up-and-coming offensive coordinator, and he didn't really leave the program in the best spot. But Bob Stoops, maybe.
I'm good.
I would. You know what? I don't think Bob Stoops wants to coach anymore. I mean, maybe he does, but I've heard he's really happy with his life, and but you never know. I definitely would call him. I'd call him.
Second choice would be Bobby Petrino.
Oh God, jeez, I'm not even a fan, and I'm like, fuck that. No, I'm serious. That's not going to work at all. I think there's we have more names that we don't like than names that we do. The two that I like, I put out there: Dave Clawson and Jamie Chadwell. After that, in my opinion, it's a steep decline. Hugh Freeze, if he comes here, you're going to win games. I believe that, but you're going to be on probation and fucked 5 years from now.
We'll be on probation and fucked with Jamie Cheatwell also. He got Charleston Southern.
What about a first-time guy like
field the damn team?
That's true.
At Clemson?
I don't think Venables is going to take a head coaching job. I don't see it.
Because he'll bring his fucking son with him too.
What?
Yeah, he'd fit right in.
He's bring his fucking son to start him at fucking linebacker.
He might start for you guys. He might, considering the fact that the most disheartening play. And thank you, caller, for joining us this evening. We appreciate it. I'm watching last night, and the Ole Miss quarterback Matt Corral stared down your linebacker and said, "You know what? I'm fucking stronger than you are." And he ran his fucking ass over. That tells me your linebackers are trash. So maybe Venables will come there and start.
It was that Earl Campbell powder blue jersey that did it. He looked like Earl Campbell going through him. I knew that play happened right there that we were in trouble.
If Venables comes and gets his son to transfer and he starts, that would be the funniest shit ever for this show, especially as a Comrade just rails against Venables a lot. And then, Venables is your starting linebacker now. Comrade might have a stroke. He might. Yeah, there's that. 803-470-2905. Kale, who do you want, Kale? I mean, you can pick who you want. Who do you want?
I like that the coach from Wake Forest that you were talking about. I know that's not on anybody else's radar, but I mean, they've been to a bowl 4 years in a row, 4 winning seasons in a row at Wake Forest. Place a very difficult place to recruit to, high academic standards. And he's doing it. I mean, turn the program around. They got some NFL type players coming out of there now. Not a lot, but I mean, that's like a miracle worker. So to me, if he can, they're quietly a really good team that nobody really talks about that much, unless they happen to throw a monkey wrench into the season of one of the big boys in the ACC, which is not a lot of big boys in the ACC, honestly. But I mean, a pretty high profile game yesterday against North Carolina. And I mean, they almost pulled that one out. So I'm surprised. They did.
Let me read to you the odds for next head coach of the Carolina by a prominent journalist. Okay,
no, it's not Jackpot Central, is it?
No, Urban Meyer, 10,001. Urban Meyer, 10,001. Mike Gundy, 7,001. Bob Stoops, 5,001. P.G. Fleck, 1,001. Mario Cristobal, 1,001. Hugh Freeze, 100-1. Dave Clawson, 25-1. Neil Brown, 20-1. Jamie Chadwell, 10-1. Shane Beamer, 5-2. Billy Napier, 2-1.
Holy shit. I don't know who wrote that. Caller, what do you got for the show?
Matt Barber wrote that. Your buddy.
Fuck him. Fuck that motherfucker.
God dang, boys.
God damn it. Fuck Matt. You know what? See, fucking goddamn it.
I fucking hate him.
Even virtual Kale hates him.
I'm going to retweet it right now so it'll come in your timeline so you get mad.
I don't ever want to see the motherfucker again.
All right, what do you got for the show, caller?
I mean, clipboard Jesus here. All I got to say is, what happened if we could choose Lincoln Riley over Will Muschamp? I mean, what happened to that?
But to be fair, nobody knew Lincoln Riley was going to be Lincoln Riley. I mean, let's just be honest. Nobody knew that. So, I mean, we can shit on Ray Tanner all we want. I'm not, and maybe it's just me and the dealings that I've had with Ray Tanner, but I think Ray Tanner is a pretty fucking smart guy. And I know there's a lot of Gamecock fans are like, fuck him, fire him, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think that he's dumb. I think he went and got what he thought was the best coach. I'm with the Comrade on this that if he's going to retire soon, he shouldn't make this coaching hire. But that's just me. I don't know.
Over on YouTube, Spartacus, the Bringer of Rain, says Sparky Woods won 2 Division II national titles at App State and was terrible at Carolina.
He wasn't terrible.
He wasn't. First of all, he
wasn't terrible.
It wasn't Division II. He coached in FCS at the time, which was Division I AA, and I don't think he won any national championships over there. I think he was in like the top 5 a couple of years there, but Furman was the one actually competing for national championships in the Southern Conference.
Sparky wasn't terrible. Don't fuck with my coach. That's my coach. Don't fuck with him. Sparky was not terrible. He came in after a drug scandal, and the coach died, and they cleaned the program up. And the first bowl win in our school history was really his team. I know Fat Brad takes credit for it. That's Sparky's team. So, Sparky wasn't terrible. He kind of righted the ship and gave stability right there. He was Sparky's a good guy. Unlike Brad Scott's a fucking piece of shit. Let's break it up for you right now.
Welcome to the show, caller. Hopefully you're not Brad Scott calling the show, but what can we do for you?
No, it's not Brad Scott.
What you got, man?
So I just wanted to wonder why did he not keep Mike Bobo as offensive coordinator and become the head coach? He develops quarterbacks well. He's a good offensive coordinator. I don't know if y'all answered this earlier, but why not keep him instead of hiring outside?
Because, in my opinion, because he was shitty at Colorado State. I mean, let's just be honest. His record wasn't really good at Colorado State. Are you going to give that guy who couldn't get it done in the Mountain West the keys to an SEC program? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, well, that's Colorado State, and this is supposed to be like the best team in the East at one point.
Who said they were the best team in the East?
I mean, a lot of people in the 90s, but I guess y'all don't want to talk about that.
In the 90s, you're talking about South Carolina being one of the best teams in the East? Please tell me in the 90s what Gamecock team was great, the best in the East.
Well, I said one of the best teams in the East. Were they not?
Okay.
Well, I guess there's only 6 teams in the East, so I guess they're one of them.
They were in the top 6. Top 5. Top 5, Gail.
Top 5 in the East. Consistently top 5 in the East.
Well, I'm talking about the East, but
yeah, they're top 5 in the East.
They were top 5 in the East in the 90s. You're right. Top 5 every year. Book it.
No, I'm not trolling or anything, but I'm just saying, like, why not?
We agree.
Promote him to, huh?
No, we agree with you that they're top 5, and if you like Mike Bobo, that's fine. But I think that the other thing too is that I think that the majority of the fans in from South Carolina want this entire coaching staff fired. I think that they're giving up on this season, but if they hire Mike Bobo, holy fucking!
I've liked Bobo as a play caller. I've liked him. I mean, he's been perfect, but keep in mind, talent-wise, offensively, in terms of receivers, okay, we've got nobody except for Shi Smith. So, I mean, I've liked Bobo, but you're going to hire a new coach, and he's going to bring his own people in. Now, maybe you can find a head coach who likes Mike Bobo, and we'll keep him on. The weird thing is that Mike Bobo and Will Muschamp are really good friends. It's got to be kind of weird for Bobo to be the interim coach when his friend just got fired, who's brought in.
That is never fucking protocol.
Yeah.
Making a big time change like that. You don't keep them coordinators around.
Yeah, you don't. So that's not going to happen. But,
yeah. I got nothing on that. I think that would be.
But please highlight RMF Tide's quote there. I got no defense, my friend. I got no defense.
He said he wasn't trolling us, man. I mean, but
They're one of the top teams in the East in the 90s. One of the
top 5 team in the 90s. Top 5 in the East, brother. Top 5 in the East.
I'm gonna start using that shit. I'm gonna use that. Now listen, man. Back in the East, when the SC East was strong in the 90s, the Gamecocks were one of the top 5 teams in the East. Back in the East heyday. Don't shit on Sparky Woods. That was Sparky Woods' players in the 90s. One of the top 5 teams in the East.
Holy fucking shit. 803-470-2905 is we let the Gamecock fans vent this evening. I don't know. God, Jesus Christ, Jackpot, save the fucking show, man. I have nowhere to go. That guy fucked me up bad. I feel like I've been hitting the damn Jackpot booze for about 4 hours now. He completely fucked me out of my damn head.
Well, how about this? We're approaching an hour now, so why don't we pick our games for?
You didn't send your. You
talk
didn't send
about
your,
the contest a little bit.
Yeah, you didn't send your Kale Hall special to me, by the way. You know, are you gonna pick his night in the show?
Yeah, I'm gonna get that.
All right. Well, here's what we're gonna do. We're going to for the next. I'm gonna shut off the phones. We'll take some more calls in a moment, but let's talk about the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. I promise we'll take some more calls. The leaderboard for this, the cream is rising to the top, ladies and gentlemen. I want to congratulate the Comrade. He had almost as many wins this week as he's had in the past month. So
turn the corner. I'm going to get hot right now. I may win 85% of my games from now on out. Just to let you know, 85% from now on
out. Kale, how are your picks looking, brother? How did you do this week? You got 3 correct out of 6. Not bad, Jackpot. Not bad.
I went for the down. I tried to slide a game up there to steal one from everybody else. I never saw what everybody else picked, but I assume probably 90% of the room took Ole Miss to cover, and I took Gamecocks just on the off chance. And damn, if the fuckers had a damn chance, and they just fucking blew it. I mean, if they could have kept that thing within striking distance, they were ahead. With 2 minutes left in the third quarter, they were ahead. 35-31, and I mean, they just.
Well, it's pretty crazy. Everyone, yeah.
But
the average was 4 games right this week, so everyone did really well. The only game that people got wrong in big numbers was Arkansas, Florida.
Yeah.
37% of the fans took Florida to cover. Can I make an admission on the show right now? Can I make an admission real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was wrong about Kyle Trask. He's the best quarterback in the country.
I told you that the first week of the fucking season.
Now listen, let me break down real quick. The origin of my Kyle Trask stuff, okay? This is how I work. Okay, first of all, I read an article back in, July that said that last year he was a little bit lucky in his stats. So I take that and I run with it. And then I try to troll Florida fans, okay? And so I kind of do that for the whole season. But I'm going to admit now that he looks pretty good. He's the Heisman Trophy winner right now. I would take number 1 overall as well in the draft. Great. I'll take more Trevor Lawrence and Fields. But no, he's really good. Florida's offense really good. I want to see the Florida-Bama matchup in the SEC. I'm not sure Florida can stop Bama, but I'm not sure Bama can stop Florida. So it might be one of those games we saw.
It'd be an interesting game.
Yeah. So
leading the way, Ben Simmons at 46 picks. After that, we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think a 6-way tie for second. Myself, Beth Webb, Edwin Reeves, Marcus Cameron, Mark McCurry. All of us right there. Jeremy McClure's at 42. He was the leader last week. He's now way back. Let's see here. Other names on the list. Dennis Wilson's at 41. He's pulling a Comrade special here, man. 2 straight weeks with 2s. Damn it. Nathan Medlin carded a 2 this week. That's not very normal. Tyler Crowder, host of Kicking It with Crowder, got a 5 this week. He's been on fire. 4, 5, 4, 5 as far as his last 4 weeks. One other name, Michael Tongor, I think that's how you pronounce his name, got 6 correct this week. He got 6 correct last week. So I think that is pretty freaking solid. The leader for the Penis Trophy is still Gary Mills, but he's going to pass some folks here shortly. So, yeah, hopefully Gary doesn't end up with the Dick Trophy. Anyway, I tell you what. Well, let's pick our games for this week, and then we'll take some more calls before we get out of here. Comrade, what do you got, buddy?
Well, obviously we got Clemson, FSU, Missouri SC. We have to have Indiana, Ohio State. That's the game of the week, I think. 2 top 10 teams going at it. I know you love Big Ten teams, but we gotta have Indiana, Ohio State.
I'll buy that.
Who bought that?
And by the way, I'm sure by Wednesday I'll be scrambling with Kale over text to change these games as 45 games get canceled as Rob plays himself. But anyway, I think we need to have USC at Utah. I mean, for crying out loud, we've had Utah on the slate for 2 straight weeks. Both their games canceled. I'm telling you right now, I want Jake Bentley on the damn slate for a game. That's why I'm behind this contest, because I'd have like 2 more wins. So let's go.
I didn't know they were doing it until yesterday. They snuck in and played a game today, but between UCLA and Cal, they're canceled this week, but they came together.
So I think those 4 for sure. Now, I kind of want to put the Liberty-NC State game on there. I thought that might be a Cal Hall special, but just to see Hugh Freeze try to win the ACC championship. That's the ACC title game coming up here for him.
Kale, do you have a Kale Hall special?
I do.
What is it?
All right. We are going to go with, and I swear I hope this team's not 8 up so that they can play this game. The Virginia Cavaliers at home, minus 39.5 against the Abilene Christian Wildcats.
Jesus, fuck my face.
Win Sunday school.
That's awesome.
I submit Oklahoma State.
That's Bedlam.
You have a problem with Bedlam?
No, I'm just saying you got to call him. That's Bedlam.
Okay, well, I submit that game. And is Coastal playing this week? I don't know if Coastal's playing this week or not.
I hope not.
Shit.
I don't see him on there.
Coastal is playing Appalachian State, by God. Put Coastal on the board.
Where's that game being played? Is that Coastal at App State?
It's at App State at Coastal.
I think it's at the dump by the beach.
Yeah. App State and Coastal. There you go.
How
many games is that, Mike?
Hold on.
Oklahoma's giving up 9.5.
That's 8. If we have Liberty NC State, that's 8. If not, we have 7. Do we want Liberty NC State?
Yeah, Liberty NC State's fine. Can Liberty run the ACC trifecta?
Then that's 8.
We can't have Georgia.
Do you want to get rid of the game?
They're playing the Pirate.
No, I mean, if you want that, Kale, I don't care. You can drop one of them.
Fuck it. Put NC State on there.
Fucking NC State's
Clemson at FSU. Clemson hasn't won a game in like, I don't know how many fucking weeks it's been. When's the last time Clemson won a football game? Good Lord, it's been a while.
I can't believe Oklahoma State is catching 9.5 points at Oklahoma. That's a lot.
That's a lot of points. I think Kale's winning.
Wrong with them? Is the mullet ate up with the COVID-19?
Yeah. Here's the slate, and of course, probably by for the people in the contest, this is how we work this, okay? So we have the slate right now. Now, I usually don't put the actual slate up until like Wednesday afternoon, okay? Now, usually by Tuesday and Wednesday, there's some cancellations. So when there's cancellations, we start putting in replacement games by the time I put it up. Once I put it up, though, and people start making picks, then if the game gets canceled, we just kind of forfeit the game and only go with that because it's not fair to some people who make picks and don't check online all the time. Some people actually have lives and don't come back online.
Businesses.
Yeah, they actually do things. So, like, it's not fair to them to go, oh, yeah, we changed 3 games. So you didn't hear about it? Oh, my bad. You're fucked. So we make changes up until Wednesday afternoon. And I'm going to wait a little bit longer. I'm going to wait till, like, Wednesday, like 5 p.m. before we go on the show probably to do it because it makes sure games aren't canceled. But once we put the games out online and I post a link, I mean, I was amazed. I posted a link last week. I only told Cal and Rob it was up. I said, it's up right now. Didn't tweet it out, didn't Facebook it out, and a person must have been refreshing the page, made his picks already. I actually had to email and say, hey, man, listen, we just found out 3 games got canceled. We're changing it. So reach your picks and do it again. He did it. But once we get to a bunch of people doing that, we can't do that. So here's the slate right now. This slate. FSU, Missouri at SC, Indiana at Ohio State, USC at Utah, Abilene Christian Community College of the Cale Halls at Virginia, Oklahoma at Oklahoma State, App State at Coastal, and Liberty at NC State is the 8-game slate for the week.
God fucking damn, Cale. Cale's fucking us without a fucking kiss. It's goddamn Abilene Christian. Fuck out of here, Cale. Jesus fucking
They're
Christ.
the Wildcats.
Well, that's about all we fucking know about them. We'll take your calls now for a few more minutes. Jackpot's got to go to bed, so unless I don't know how late Jackpot wants to stay the fuck up, but we'll take calls for a little bit. There's a shit ton of people watching tonight, so
What about that you got down there pinned on the page? Dino Babers. He was a big talk. He was a big name a couple of years ago. They just kind of fallen on some hard times up there at Syracuse, but I mean, he can still coach. I mean, his team does not. I mean, for what he has on that team this year, which is basically like scraps and fucking the fourth string, pretty much. I mean, they've held it together.
Yeah,
held it.
He did a pretty good job. There are Syracuse fans want him fired though, which kind of cracks me up because
I've interviewed Coach Babers twice, and he's one of those guys that when you interview him, you feel like you've known him forever. I mean, it's really weird. I mean, he just has that kind of magnetic personality. By the way, a couple things here, 803-470-2905. According to Josh Kindle from The Athletic, the Gamecock football program will owe Muschamp slightly more than $13 million as part of his buyout unless a negotiated agreement can be reached. That total will also be mitigated by any future employment that Muschamp obtains. Also, from The Athletic, Bruce Feldman tweeted out or put out some information here. He's got Billy Napier, Hugh Freeze. So Army's Jeff Monken is well regarded by South Carolina brass via his connection to school president Robert Caslin. I don't think that. I mean, I think he's a good coach, but I don't think that. I look at Georgia Tech and the offense that he runs at Army. I don't think that's going to work in the SEC. He's also got Jay Norvell. So done a good job at Nevada. Jamie Chadwell. And this is going to piss off some folks that are Gamecock fans, but according to Bruce Feldman, another big assistant name is Clemson offensive coordinator Tony Elliott. Tony Elliott. I see Comrade's eyes like, fuck you, Thunder.
I think of the guys they're talking about, I think our best choice is Napier.
All right, well, there you go.
Shout out over there on YouTube to Rush Neighbors. Says, I respect Dino Babers too much for him to throw his career away at the cockroach. Watch it be Harbaugh. They deserve each other. I can tell from the vernacular there. This is a Tater fan, and you know as well as I do. The only reason that he respects Dino Babers is because he kicked your face in a few years ago, and then came damn close to doing it again the next. So
Dino's really old too. People don't realize Dino's an old man.
He is an older guy.
I like him. He's a pretty old guy.
Oh, what do you got for the show, man? What's your name?
Hey, this is Jerome Pruitt, man.
Jerome, what's going on, brother?
Hey, man, I'm licking my wounds, man.
Okay.
From the last 3 games of getting, curb stomped, but it's cool. But anyways, I wanted to talk about all these Muschamp sympathizers, man. I mean, like he's not walking away with like $20 million for, basically fucking our program. I mean, it's pretty awesome.
And I can agree with that. There were a lot of people there was a distinct message on Twitter from a lot of folks today. Be careful what you say on with him on his way out. I completely agree with you. They're paying him $13 million to go home. You can delete your Twitter account and fucking buy an island where you don't have to deal with shit. I mean, he's getting $13 million. That's part of the job. I'm not saying you should tweet shit at his kids, his wife, etc. But when you're getting paid $13 million, deal with the fucking heat that comes with it, man. I don't agree with all. Oh well, poor Muschamp. He's not saying poor you when he takes $13 million from the athletic department in the middle of a pandemic when you can't get 25,000 fans in the stands. So trust me, he'll try to get every fucking dime of that. And to be honest with you, I would too. You signed me up to this contract. You were dumb enough to do that. Fucking pay me. So I don't feel sorry for Muschamp at all. And I know people are like, well, you've always hated Muschamp. I don't give a shit who it was. If you sign that contract and you collect, you have zero sympathy for me. As long as you keep getting that money for doing nothing, shit. Come on down with all that.
Don't feel sorry for him. And how about this whole T-Rob thing?
What about T-Rob?
The whole T-Rob thing. He's getting paid, $1.1 million. He's like, hell, they won't even show. You don't even see him.
Well, a lot of that was because of Muschamp. To be completely honest with you. But on one other thing on that, though, I don't. He got the contract because Muschamp told them, look, I need this guy. And to be completely honest with you, he's known as a great recruiter. And, he managed to get some pretty extensive, what we thought were players. Ricky Sandage. He was in on the stuff with Birch, who still may end up being a really great player for South Carolina if he decides to stay. The kid from the upstate that they didn't even get to look at Clemson. So, and he was leading the way on that. So, but, Muschamp said, hey, I need this guy. And the athletic department was like, fuck it, we need him. So, but I don't feel sorry for him either. He's making $1 million. He's going to coach, 3 more games? And then he'll probably be off to bumfuck you. I don't know, but he's still getting paid. So I don't feel sorry for any of them, Jerome.
I just think it's hilarious that they're saying that all these schools are looking for him, and I'm like, wow, look at that film, and yeah, that's quite a coach you're getting there. But same thing. I think Clipboard Jesus had a good point when he said that look at a coach like Lincoln Riley, like someone younger, not some old SEC wash-up. How many times do we have to go through this? It's crazy. It's my Clemson friends said the same thing. It's insane. It's the definition of insanity. Going through the same thing as a Carolina fan year after year after year. Washed up coaches, underproduction. You got the talent. You can't do anything with it. Ole Miss, first-year coach, blew Muschamp out of the fucking that had to be really. I almost felt bad for Muschamp.
Well, he was a retread too, if you think about it, kind of.
He's definitely a retread. Tennessee, Southern Cal. He's had two Power 5 jobs.
He's pretty young. He's like our age, but around for a while.
Yeah, he didn't get fired from Tennessee though. He left. He only got fired from USC. He left Tennessee for a better job. So
I'm saying it's his 3rd Power 5 job.
I know, but it's not because he got fired though. He only got fired from one Power 5 job.
All right, hey man, thanks for calling the show, Jerome. I appreciate you watching every show, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah,
folks.
I appreciate it. We're celebrating hard tonight, and we'll listen come Wednesday. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Night.
All right, there you go with that. I tell you what, man, it was I wanted to see Comrade. You really didn't tell us who you wanted, so go ahead and tell us.
I probably right now. Of the guys that are being mentioned, I would take Billy Napier. There seems to be about 4 or 5 names of guys who are logical. I'm not talking about Urban Meyer and Bob Stoops. Okay, logical guys that we're talking to right now. Of the guys we're talking to, of Chadwell, Hugh Freeze, of I would take Billy Napier from that group.
Okay, so that's who you want as Billy Napier.
Yeah, and I'm afraid to really tell him too much because then I'm the kiss of fucking death. But that's who I would take is Billy Napier. Hugh Freeze. I'm not on board with Hugh Freeze.
I like the coach at East Carolina. He won several national championships at James Madison FCS, but he hasn't really replicated that success at East Carolina. He's only been there a couple of years, but I mean they're not very good. So I don't know. Maybe not in that one.
Yeah. All right. Well, I tell you what. Let's we'll take your calls. Caller, who wait a minute. Caller, what's your name and where are you going with the show, man?
Hey, my name is James. Am I on? Am I looking number caller 7?
Yeah, you're caller number 77. What you got, buddy?
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, man. Calling in from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Y'all are my favorite show to watch on YouTube Live. Kale Hall, you are the man. I just want to tell you that. I'm a big fan. Been following you a long time. I have to say this, guys. My gut instinct tells me that Mark Richt's going to be the next coach, man. I'm telling you, they just can't let go of the SEC wash-ups.
I don't think he wants to coach anymore. By the way, caller, you sound like Matthew McConaughey, doesn't he? What do you say all right for us.
Comrade. You've been nice, comrade. You making fun of my old country accent, man. That ain't very nice. You know, I'm a big fan of the show.
I would love to sound like Matthew McConaughey. I would love to be Matthew McConaughey. So,
he's rich and pretty, but I got heart for days.
But just say all right for us.
Hey, I think South Carolina's going to be all right. When they got somebody like Kale watching, oh my God, man! I mean, I'm telling you what, his shows that he does mid-game, pre-game, post-game, and then y'all have y'all's commentary over here. I love it, man. Y'all keep doing what you're doing, man. Hopefully we can steer away from the SEC coach rejects, and maybe we'll catch somebody good. Maybe Cal Hall needs to put on damn polo shirt and get a whistle, man. He'll be all right.
Hey, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
They're in talks right now.
I thought for a minute he might give us that line. What is it? The high school girls they stay the same age. I just keep getting older.
By the way, we have, it says, according to my numbers here, 65 people we've missed calls from 65 people, meaning that people are calling in while the other person's on the line and they're not getting through. So I'm sorry about that. 803-470-2905 if you want to sound off about Will Muschamp and who
it's too bad. Will Muschamp
Joe Brady
fired every Wednesday and Sunday. We're making a shitload of money off this.
It was great timing, though. It was great timing that they did this. I do appreciate the Gamecocks not waiting until tomorrow. They're not waiting, doing it on podcast night. Enough time for us to have this topic. So thank you, President Caslin, for thinking of the podcast. I do think Caslin fired it, by the way. I do think it was Caslin's decision.
The only thing they're talking, the thing about Billy Napier, didn't he turn down the job at Mississippi State?
I don't think he turned it down. I think he was up for it, and then Mike Leach came in the picture last minute, and I think they didn't think they could get Mike Leach, and Napier was the guy they were going to hire, and then Mike Leach either changed his mind or said, "No, I'll take the job," and that's what happened. I don't think he turned him down. I think he was the guy they're going to go with, but Leach was the prettier name.
Yeah, well, I should have went with Napier at this point.
Yeah, there you go. Caller, welcome into the show. What's your name?
My name's Jeff. How y'all doing?
Jeff, what you got for the show, man?
Well, I don't. Well, a friend of mine sent me a message. You must have been fired, and the first person I thought of was Jackpot. I've been a Gamecock fan a long time. I'm 64, and we had Joe Morrison and Steve Spurrier, and some really good teams. I like to keep up with the recruiting and stuff like that. Muschamp recruited well, but and I always, like to I get pretty excited about the games, but I'm just apathetic now. I mean, I just, I cut it out a little bit. Then it gets ugly, and I'll cut it off. And the Jackpot was talking about Wake Forest coach. Was he serious about that, or?
I was talking about that. I mean, I think he's good, and I think Jackpot agrees with me that he's all right.
Well, Jackpot originally was the David Clawson pumper early in the year, like midway through early in the year. He said that too, and you kind of latched on the Jackpot. I'm just being honest, but Dave Clawson was Jackpot's original guy early in the year back in August. Am I correct, Jackpot?
That was my man crush before it was anybody else's. So
yeah, that was his original man crush.
Okay.
we got a good fan base in Carolina. We got that new center they just built. What was that, $50 million?
Yeah.
And it just the team just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. I want to ask Jackpot about the defense, because I thought the defensive line would be awesome, and the defensive ends and the secondary I thought would be one of the best in the SEC, and it's embarrassing, so I cut it off. And then I was excited about Mike Bobo, and I thought, he would. Well, he's a fullback. I like that, and he'll bring in 2 tight ends and stuff. But it just seemed like he spread the offense a lot at times when our offensive line couldn't block. But I just see the Gamecocks down pretty far right now. No quick fix. What do y'all think? What do y'all think is going to happen? What would help?
It's all about recruiting. I mean, they recruited well, and they've recruited all okay for South Carolina standards, but they have not recruited SEC good. We finished 17th or 18th in recruiting, whatever it was, past couple of years. It's not going to be that high this year, but that's good for like 10th in the SEC, because all of our rivals in the SEC are above us in recruiting. And if you look at where we finished in the standings the past 5 years, I mean, it's pretty much followed that same trajectory. So they've got to recruit better, and it's hard when you've got Clemson and Georgia, both of them within 150 miles of you. And you just don't have that much high school talent in this, this area that we have our base of recruiting in. They need to expand their recruiting base out. And I just don't know who the right person is to get that going. But man, that's where it's going to start at.
But we're never gonna recruit at that level. So. But we have to find. That's why it's important. You want to find who's a good recruiter, okay? I mean, not a horrible recruiter, but the main thing is you got to find coaches or a head coach who can develop players. Number one, who also can evaluate players who are not on every team's radar and scoop them up. And so that's how you win at Carolina. You're not going to go out. Listen, we'll get our occasional 5-star. We'll get our Clowney or a Lattimore. In-state, we kind of get a little run of in-state guys. But in terms of that, another thing, too, he brought a good point in about being apathetic. Okay, the worst thing in the world is for a fan base to become apathetic, okay? Anger's okay. Anger's a good thing. But when you start having – I think that's why they fired him. I think they wanted to wait, and I think they could sense that the apathy coming in. And the fact is – they have to pay him off, okay, yes. But they were thinking if we hang on to him, the apathy is going to grow. We're going to lose money keeping him. But in another part of your problem, there is no quick fix. And the Gamecocks can't be thinking about a quick fix. That's one of our problems, too. It is not a quick fix situation. It's got to be a plan. Hire a young guy with a plan to build the program and the fans got to be patient. I hate to, Rob always makes fun of me. Be patient, but be patient and build a program. Hopefully, by year 5, we're not a shit show like we are now. But you got to have that steady improvement. So I don't know who the right guy is. I would go with Billy Napier. That doesn't mean he'll work, but just somebody young who's going to be here for a while that can recruit in this area and that can develop guys who are kind of off the radar, find diamonds in the rough, find some 3-stars that he can make into 5-star talent. That's how you win at Carolina. Georgia's going to get the 5-star guys. Florida's going to get the 5-star guys. You got to hope that we can do a better job of developing our guys to make our 3-stars play like 5-stars, and hope that Georgia gets 5-stars that were overrated. And that's how you compete and beat teams.
All right. Well,
y'all, I really enjoy the show. Y'all got a great show. I'll just to say something about 5-stars. I like to keep up with recruiting, and Georgia, the way they recruit, I said, man, every player they got is 5-stars. So every now and then I'll listen to Uncle Lou's show, and he went off on Kirby Smart. He said they ran their quarterback off. He's at Ohio State now. And then he went through all the players on defense, and they're all 5-stars, and they're not playing well. So,
That's a good point, man.
You got to develop them. Hey, I really like y'all.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, thank you for calling, man. We appreciate it.
We got a couple of 5-stars in the defensive line. You wouldn't know it.
Yeah, so really, Jordan Burch has been on a milk carton the past couple of weeks, and
didn't he have a pressure last night? I thought he had a. I'm not trying to put on what you're saying, but I thought he at least got in the backfield one time last night. But
Zach Pickens has been on some tackles last night, so I mean that's.
And listen, I'm not blaming them. Okay, if they're 5-star talent, and if they're not playing well, then that's a coach's problem. I mean, because if you can't develop a 5-star talent, that's on you. Now, some kids are 5-star, don't work out because their work ethic sucks, whatever it is, and that's going to happen. But the fact that quarterback could stand back there and count the crowd, okay, and no pressure at all, and you've got guys. I was looking forward to. I thought the defense this year was going to be really good and was going to carry us. I thought our defense was going to be underrated. I thought our line was good. I thought we'd get pressures. I was working linebackers. Our linebackers, I knew were going to suck. But I go, the D-line, though, if you have a good D-line, you can hide your linebackers. If you have a good secondary, which I thought we had as well, you also hide your linebackers. And I said, if you have a good D-line, a good secondary, you can get away with having crappy-ass linebackers. But our D-line, it gets no pressure on anybody, and our cornerbacks, good Lord, don't know who they're covering, where they're covering, supposed to be. I mean, and that's coaching. That is 100% coaching.
There's one question I wanted to pitch to you guys about, and this is just me. The season is shot, okay? If he coaches 3 more games, I think his buyout comes down. I got to look at the numbers, but it's a good bit after December the 5th. The team's not winning the SEC East this year. No one gives a shit. Why not just let him finish out? And I'm just saying from a financial perspective, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I just can't fathom giving him $13 million when you've got programs around the country that are boarding up programs, and the athletic department's going to give him $13 million to go away. When they could wait 3 weeks.
Maybe there was some kind of a difference in philosophy or something that came to light this week. I don't know.
Well,
I think Haslam fired him.
Somebody off.
Well, and I understand that, but I mean, if I don't think that I don't think it's a $13 million worth to piss anybody off. I would tell him point blank, look, I'm not firing you, but at the end of the season, your ass is fucking gone. Just so you know, I'm not giving you $13 million either to sit on your ass. That's not happening. I think that's a lapse in judgment, in my opinion. I know that he needs to go and he's a shithead, but $13 million. Holy fuck, you got 3 weeks. No one thinks you're going to win any of these fucking games anyway.
I think Cal's and one of them gone. I think a booster stepped up. I think a booster said, listen, here's the check. Get his ass out of here. That's the only way you do that.
Did he finish out the season at Florida when they fired him?
He's still getting 20. I mean, he's about 20 million in buyouts that he's still, whatever. Caller, welcome into the show.
How's it going?
What's going on, man?
I just trying to talk to you all about this Muschamp.
Well, what do you got? Spit it out.
Well, I was working for the football team actually for 2 years when Muschamp just got hired, right? So I was a little biased with these guys. I like Muschamp a lot when he was there. I actually worked with the safeties. I was more with the equipment staff, but I did work with the safeties, and that's what he was coaching at the time there. So I had his back pretty much until the LSU game. And as soon as that happened, I was off the bandwagon. And I was kind of off the bandwagon the year before that, but I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt that it was injuries. But after seeing that LSU game, Texas A&M game, we're just terrible. We got to, and they need to move on now. I mean, rather than wait till the end of the year so we can hire the right guy and plan it out and hopefully.
Look, I'm not trying to play volleyball here with you, caller, but the reality is that unless you're getting a retread coach that isn't coaching right now, I mean, you're going to have to wait until the season's over, I would think. I mean,
no, that's true, but I also think that either way, if he finishes the season, they were going to have to pay him that money. They needed to just go ahead and let him go to let the fan base know. I think they were going to lose money overall if they were going to keep him with a lot of the donors and everything that were giving money. I think they were going to end up losing money by keeping him.
They have 2 home games left this season, Mizzou and Georgia. They can't get very many people in the stands anyway. I think that if they make a hire, whoever they make a hire, just getting rid of this guy, I think that people are going to buy season tickets because there's a breath of hope. And I mean, because right now there is no hope, but I think bringing somebody in new would probably, unless you bring in, Mike Bobo, that's not going to set the world on fire. But if you bring somebody else in, that could be valid that, hey, it's going to be down the line, things are going to change. And, for the Clemson folks that listen to the show, this is a day that you didn't want to come because Will Muschamp was never going to beat Clemson. So as Clemson fans, you got to kind of be on notice now who they're going to get. And it's a threat to Clemson too. We haven't really talked about that. If they hire some young fire pisser that's going to come in and basically be like, look, you're going to kick our ass for a couple of years, but I'm going to out-recruit, outwork, out-fuck all of you, stand by. And if you're a Gamecock fan, that's what you want. You want the guy that's like, my dick's got chlamydia on it because I've banged so many O's, but the mamas love me. And I'm going to get every damn recruit that I can possibly get. That's kind of what you want. So Clemson fans should be on notice because I'm not saying now, 2-3 years from now, though, if you get somebody viable, you can turn a program around quick. If you don't believe me, look around. It happens. All right, caller, thank you, buddy.
They need to hire. They got to hire an offensive coordinator, and then he's got to be a fiery recruiter that's going out.
Yep.
Those are the 2 main things for me that it's got to happen. I mean, clearly, Muschamp's not getting it done defensively at all.
They got to.
Hey, buddy.
Leave no stone unturned. We got to have a guy like Barry Switzer used to be digging around into people's trash before he went into the damn recruit's house and looked and saw that kid drank Pearl beer. No, his dad drank Pearl beer. I'm sorry.
Dad drank Pearl beer.
The dad drank Pearl beer, and the dad asked Barry Switzer, "Hey, would you like a beer?" He said, "Only if it's Pearl." He said, "Hey, that's all you drink?" "That's all I drink, man." He got the player.
But that's the kind of shit that makes sense. I mean, people are like that, man. I mean, if they know that you're into their lives, they like that kind of thing, man. I mean, remember Blue Chips with Nick Nolte, where he went to the different churches and I'm an Episcopalian, I'm a Southern Baptist, and whatever church the dad was going to, that's who he was. So I don't know. I mean, I'm with you on that. They need somebody like that that's young and is not scared to get out and recruit. Not that, I mean, Muschamp worked hard to recruit, but there needs to be a breath of fresh air type thing. And I think that also on this front, they need to hit the junior college ranks at one spot in particular really hard, and that's at linebacker. Former assistant coach Eric Wilson and I have talked about this, and he said the Gamecock linebackers are just terrible. I mean, that's as real as we can get. And he coached at South Carolina. So they need to get on the train and get some more Jasper and Casper Brinkley, guys like that can really help out a linebacker.
Brinkley from Meet the Press at this point to play defense on that motherfucker.
But the other thing too is
Jones is a good player. Other than
right,
that,
but I don't think he's and Coach Eric Wilson said about Ernest Jones, he's undersized, and that's what he said.
I mean, he got ran over by the beach. He got ran over by the beach bum last night. So there
he
you
probably
go.
did. And who's going to leave? That's the other thing too. I mean, we were talking about Gunnar Stockton earlier. I don't think he's going anywhere. But what if you have some other guys that decide they want to go? I mean, what if one player is hanging out?
The players aren't happy.
One player who I've seen a lot of drama from on social media is Nick Muse. He got in some kind of little Twitter scuffle last week with some fans, and then there was something screenshot and posted from his Instagram this evening that said something to the fact of y'all want this, y'all wanted this, now you got this or something. He just seems like a bunch of damn drama and more than it's fucking worth. So I mean, you can damn pack your shit if you don't like it. I mean, we wanted to send you back to William and Mary, but William and Mary said hell no.
I'm really curious about how they're going to play this week. Like, because they could come out and play the game with their lives. They can come out and say, "We're pissed. We love Muschamp." But here's the thing, though. I will say this. By all accounts, they love Muschamp. The players do. But damn, they didn't play like they loved him. They play like they get free shits.
Right.
So I mean, they have to know it, but I don't know. But it'll be curious to see. I have no idea. Like we're picking the game this week, Carolina, Missouri. It's a 1-point spread according to Vegas Insider. I think Missouri for by one.
No,
I think is that I saw?
No, it's like 5 right now.
It opened at 1 though. The line we're going to use is 1. Hold on, let me pull it up. Missouri -1. Missouri -1. It's -6 now, but it opened at -1. So
we are a 6-point underdog at home to Missouri at nighttime in a place where we never used to fucking lose at nighttime.
Wait, hold on.
Missouri, a team that hasn't even played in 3 weeks.
The Gamecocks aren't favored. Get the fuck out of here!
No, we're catching 5 right now.
Open at -1. We're going to use -1 in our poll.
That's piss poor. That's piss poor, pathetic, and sad.
I think we win. I think we beat them. Right now, we win by 21 points next week.
Motherfucker.
And people start chanting, Bobo, Bobo. That's what happened. What are we on the table with Bobo, the head coach?
Matty Smith, the Alabama fan, says Columbia, Missouri with the greater sign than Columbia, South Carolina. I would guess so. I mean, your team's never lost games in Columbia, Missouri.
I don't know, Matty.
South Carolina, however.
Has Columbia, Missouri produced a Masters champion? No, they haven't.
Columbia, South Carolina hasn't either. He's from fucking Irma.
They have. He's from Columbia, South Carolina.
They hadn't produced much of anything. That's a damn derelict program right there. I mean, to be fair, they were Georgia was scared to play them this week, so they bitched out of that game. And then in the meantime, I heard that Missouri had some COVID issues.
Sean Calvert writes, guys, I'm sorry, but South Carolina's never been elite and never will be. Sean, top 10, 3 straight years in a row. 3 straight years in a row, top 10.
We're going to take calls for a few more minutes. 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. I can tell you that's the thing that I'm thinking about are the buyout thing. It baffles me. 3 weeks and you're cut. I got to get the exact numbers on. I think that you save $6 million if he coaches 3 more weeks.
I think it's 2.3 million is what I heard. December 22nd.
Okay, well I don't know for sure. I got to check on the numbers, but either way, what the fuck, dude? Oh my god! I mean that kills me. And I tell you what, if they come out later on, and I mean this. I'm not the Gamecock fan on this show, but if they go to Dawn Staley, who had to take a fucking pay cut, and tell her, "Oh, we're gonna have to cut some of your funding," fuck that. Forever, we're gonna have to cut some more funding because we have a shortfall. That's because you're paying this idiot to sit on the couch.
Let me read a tweet from Don Staley. Tweet from Don Staley. Sad day to hear Coach Will Muschamp and family are no longer with Gamecock football. While some celebrate this, there are others who knew Will and the total package he brought to the Gamecocks. Thank you, Will, Carroll, Jackson, and Witt. Forever to thee. Good guy, Will Muschamp. Good guy.
Well, Dawn Staley is a class act, and I would expect that from her. So there you go with that.
Stephen Morgan over there on YouTube says University of Buffalo has a hell of a coach, Leopold. I said that the other week, but that's just I don't know, not a good geographical fit. I don't think.
I think that that's the thing too, and there are a lot of people that are and I'm trying to be instead of just we goof on each other about our teams on this show a lot, but in reality, though, South Carolina is a Power 5 program that is in the SEC, and we goof about that too, but there's money there, and there's going to be guys that there's going to be people that want that job. I'm not saying they can just roll it out and it's an LSU-type job, but I'm saying that the idea that people won't come there is kind of fucking stupid. I mean, you can goof about it if you want, but it's fucking stupid.
Especially since in our history, we hired Lou Holtz, pretty big name at the time, and hired Steve Spurrier, pretty big name at the time, that came here. So the idea that they can't get anybody, we actually are known to get the big names. We probably should stop going after the big names, maybe hire a younger, up-and-coming guy. But the idea that they can't get anybody there, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I don't agree with that adage. And I'm not saying that it's the dream job of everyone, but other than the tradition that you have, which isn't much, why would you not want to come here if you're a coach? And what I mean by that is if you're an up-and-coming coach, you could go to South Carolina and you're going to have funding. You're going to have everything that you could possibly want.
Facilities.
And a rabid-ass fan base that sold out the motherfucking cockroach down there when they went 0-11. So, I mean, you've got the passion and everything else. It's not the worst job on the planet. So why would you not want to go if you're an up-and-coming guy? I don't get it. But, people just want to be dumb as hell when it comes to that kind of thing. So 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. I think that if Ray Tanner's going to do the search, he should roll out to all these big guys that he wants. Go tell Fickle, hey, man, come at least pay a visit down here. Fuck. I mean, if that's who you want. But just the idea of, I'm not going to call because I don't think they want to come here, that's fucking stupid. That's not going to happen at all. So just kind of let's lay that to bed because that doesn't make any sense to me. So on that front.
Something we haven't talked about, let's talk about Clemson for a minute. And the impending trip to Tallahassee, Rob. Do you see that one pretty much being a one-sided blowout?
I think that that game is going to be Clemson wins big. Florida State's terrible, Cale.
Yeah, I know.
Terrible.
That was and the hell half the teams quit. I mean, the quarterback, he wasn't any good to begin with.
Florida State is just terrible.
Terry quit the team. Marvin Wilson had an undisclosed surgery, so that means he quit. From what I gathered,
the receiver that they had that we put on my All ACC ballot, he's gone.
He quit.
Just it's a team full of quitters. They're just trying to roll out the season. Florida State's a shithole. But anyway, one other name we haven't discussed yet, Steve Sarkisian, the offensive coordinator for Alabama. Would you like to go with that guy, or you're worried that with his past issues with alcoholism? And I'm not saying that alcoholics shouldn't have jobs, but that's a name that's out there. Steve Sarkisian, Jackpot, what do you think?
Well, he's got that offense at Alabama's humming, man. It has the past couple of years. I mean, like I said, I don't think Nick Saban's going to have you on the staff if you've got those kind of issues. So I'm sure he's cleaned his act up. Probably learned his lesson. So
not bad. A name that's got tweeted out here that to look for that I have not heard is Scott Satterfield of Louisville coming to Carolina. What do you think about that?
I wanted him when he was at App State. Now he's kind of gotten tarnished a little bit this year at Louisville. They're not exactly setting the woods on fire up there. I'm not really not sure what the problem is up there this year. But they won like one game. They're really disappointing.
They're not very good, but I think that would be a good hire. That would bring some excitement. Why not?
He is an offensive-minded head coach, but he's going to have to find himself a good defensive coordinator because he can't. No, I mean his defenses up there have been shit.
Brandon Kuhn, the Comrade's son, says he wants Mark Stoops. Look, I like Mark Stoops, but I don't think that's the kind of guy you want to hire right now.
He's the defensive coach.
Defensive coach means fuck no, according to Gamecock fans right now.
Will Muschamp mindset. I like him too, and also you got to think with moving from Kentucky to South Carolina, that's just kind of like a lateral move to me. I mean, yeah,
I disagree. I think that South Carolina is a football school, and I think that he can get them to a point where they're.
He wouldn't have to play second fiddle to the basketball coach at South Carolina.
Yeah, but my only thing though, if you're Stoops though, I think the Gamecock job is a better job just because of the fact that the facilities are better, the fact that football is the main focus here.
That's what I see.
That's true, but the thing is though, I think if Stoops, he might be looking to something bigger, like maybe waiting in the wings for a Penn State to fire Franklin, or waiting for Texas maybe if they fire Herman, or Michigan if they Harvard, So
Good evening.
I think he's more looking for those teams, those schools.
Hey, this is RJ, big Gamecock fan here. Just want to say I love the show, guys. Kind of a couple things real quick. I know the talk's been coming up about the recruits and stuff, and I have been looking at some stuff. They've reached out to the recruits and seen, they kind of asked them about how they feel about, Muschamp getting let go. A lot of them, it seems not, right now, that's not really having a big effect on, as far as their commitment. So I'm hoping we'll be okay with that as far as that aspect goes. Man, I'm so glad they finally pulled the trigger. Nothing against Muschamp. I like him as a guy, but it just wasn't working out. Really bringing the program down. So, it was best to part ways. Just to kind of talk about the candidate, next guy for the job. I definitely think we need of course, as everybody's been saying, we need a younger, kind of an offensive-minded guy, and because that's just the kind of era, that we're in right now, in college football. You need a guy that's going to be able to get out there and, run some offense. So, and you think about, you got, Sarkisian, Napier, Tadwell. A name I've heard a lot, too. A lot of people are kind of clamoring for Joe Brady, which I don't see that being too likely because I don't think we're going to be able to pull him from where he's at right now. I think he kind of likes the spot in the NFL, but just kind of wanted to get you guys' thoughts maybe on that as well.
Yeah. I think Joe Brady's goal was to be an NFL football coach, NFL head coach.
Yeah, I think that's the route he wants to go.
But Joe Brady's great offensive mind, but I mean he's been over there. I mean all he's been doing is making up plays, and taking care of the passing game at LSU, and basically the offensive coordinator position, and it's the same thing he's doing with the Panthers. I mean, do you think? The responsibility of the head. There's a lot more responsibility than that with that head coaching position than what he's been doing. He's really, really young too. So I don't know about that.
Shout out to my buddy Wayne Whiteside, one of my favorite radio friends. Says, "What about the Minnesota coach? He's not having the best year, but look what he's done with them in the past few years." Yeah, that's what you want, is the young guy, man. Caller, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate you, buddy.
Fell the fuck apart this year. Good.
Yeah. Well, nobody thought Penn State was going to be 0-4 either. I think the Big Ten.
Yeah, but they had all those players. I mean, the quarterback came back. The wide receiver they got that opted out. He opted back in, and he's playing for them. They had a pretty good running back. I mean, they can score some points. So they just have their defense looks like South Carolina's esque.
One thing I looked at South Carolina's recruiting rankings right now, and I'm not. We don't know about how these guys are going to be when they get there, but the 2021 class has 16 commits. It's ranked 12th in the SEC, just ahead of Ole Miss and Vanderbilt, 46th in the country overall. Your best player is an outside linebacker, as far as the rankings go, named Trinilis Tatum, a linebacker from Jonesboro, Georgia. So, yeah, there's that. I don't think it's that big of a deal to start over, but then again, you never know. Welcome into the program. Good evening.
Hey, man. Just want to call in on the coaching search. Roll Tide Roll. I would say South Carolina is a good job because you get to compete in the East every year. I'd say you got to go after Luke Fickell and maybe give Mario Cristobal a call. What do you think?
I don't think he's going to leave Oregon, but I mean, I just, and it's not that he would look down on South Carolina, but why would you leave a top 10 program at Oregon? That doesn't make any sense.
He wouldn't leave Oregon unless he was coming to Alabama. That's where he was from, right? He coached at Alabama a good bit.
I believe so. Yeah, I got to look up his info, but yeah, I think you're right on that. I
doubt it too, but I'd say it's worth a shot. You just got to reach out to some of these people, and you never know.
Well, you never know.
I'm sure they're reaching out. I'm sure they're not. I'm sure they're calling. I mean, I'm sure they're reaching out through back channels. I mean, you reach out through people, not directly to the actual coach, but you reach out through their agents to find out, hey, how interested is Luke Fickell in coming to South Carolina? And the agent says, no, that's not where he's thinking about doing. Then you don't pursue it. Luke Fickell, obviously our job is better than the job he's at right now. But if you're Luke Fickell, are you thinking, yeah, I could go to South Carolina, or I could stay here for another year or two? I've got a good player, a good system, good players, a good system, keep on winning, and then get a job like Michigan, get a job like Penn State, get a job like Texas. I mean, so that's kind of what Tom Herman did in a way. Herman was at Houston. The Gamecock job is better than Houston, but he's like, you know what? I'll keep winning here. Yeah. I think the job will be up and stay when I go that. So Luke Fickell may be thinking in terms of that. Now Luke Fickell won't go to Michigan. He's an Ohio State guy. I doubt he goes to Michigan. But they give it to Harbaugh. But Luke Fickell could be thinking more in terms of that kind of situation as opposed to coming to Carolina.
I think Tom Herman saw the writing on the wall with Charlie Strong when he was in Texas. So, and he was right.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. All right, so we're going to take calls about 10 more minutes and we're done. 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905 if you want to sound off on this. And, of course, we'll talk more about this as we roll along here. For folks new to the show this evening, we have, of course, a show on Wednesday night. You're welcome to check us out there. And if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel at Carolina Jackpot.
Matty Sims over in the comment section with the Alabama avatar says, I think at this point South Carolina should be settling to Butch Jones Champions of Life awards at this point because they are nowhere near winning a natty, much less the SEC or even the East. Okay, you do realize you're bashing one of your own coaches there.
Yeah.
And for one thing, and then also that number two, your team is 1-1 against us the past 10 years.
Yeah, Matty. Matty, thanks for reading that, Cal, because he's made that joke 4 times in the chat box. I think he wanted to finally read it for him. He made the Butch Jones joke like 4 times. So it's good. I'm glad we finally read one of them so that I can go on and cross off his list. I got it read. Okay.
By the way, Katusa93 said Oregon's not a top 10 program. I meant that this season they were ranked in the top 10. They're number 11 right now. They're typically a top 20 program. I don't think I'm that far off in saying that with Oregon, who are under
last night made me $50 on the spread, the beef. Very
They've
happy.
been the best Pac-12 team the last 10 years for sure.
Their rivals, the Beavers.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little bit last night.
Kale Beavers. All right. Do you think any players are going to leave? I mean, obviously, at the end of this season, J.C. Horn's probably gone. He's a junior. Mukwamu is he a junior, Comrade?
Yeah, he is.
He's a junior.
I would think he's gone.
I don't know that he's. I don't know that he's ready. To be honest with you,
but I mean, he may transfer out. I mean, J.C. Horn was one of the first players to tweet out about Muschamp earlier, saying, "Hey, he loved his coach." So, yeah. I don't know. Love to see on that. I wonder who's going to leave. Not necessarily on the recruiting front, but are they going to lose some players? I tell you, one guy that's going to be gone is Colin Hill. Once Mike Bobo leaves, Colin Hill is gone. I don't think
one thing I bring up too is this is a good year. If you're going to fire a coach, though, normally when you fire a coach, you take a step back in terms of recruiting and everything. But with the new rules coming out in terms of transfers and everything like that, there's a lot of people that you can kind of poll and deal with junior college too. But there are a lot of people in the transfer portals out there too for the new coach, whoever it is, to kind of gather up and make next year's team to fill some gaps too with his kind of guys, kind of find some things like that. So it isn't the worst time to take over the program because you do have a little more resources to go get some guys, get some bodies in the transfer portals out there in the world. So.
Well, and if you look at and I'm not for next season though, because I mean, let's just be honest. The rest of the season is going to be shit. I mean, if they win,
well, we could run the table.
Game, I'd be shocked, to be honest with you. But you never know.
Georgia.
I think that as a Gamecock fan, though, you don't want Bobo to come in here and win 3 straight because I just don't think that's going to work in my opinion. But I mean. Yeah, I mean, do you really want Mike Bobo? And what I mean by that is that if you do, then you need to cheer for them to finish out 3-0. I mean, that's just my opinion. Maddie says he's only been an Alabama fan since 2019. Comrade, please help me, sir. Holy shit.
There you go. That makes a lot of sense.
What did you pull for before that?
Yeah.
You kind of attend. What school are you attending in Tuscaloosa?
You're the Florida man.
Tuscaloosa Tech.
Come on. You're not going to Alabama.
Nick Marshall said, I wonder what Jake Bentley's thoughts are on this.
I feel bad for Jake. I can't play damn game.
Well, he's probably wondering if his dad's going to still keep a job. But they keep, I guess.
I don't know.
Are you the former Auburn quarterback? If he's in the chat room, that's pretty fucking cool.
That is pretty fucking cool.
That's the former
thing too.
Quarterback when he couldn't talk in the damn interviews.
Yeah.
Remember? That was the one when they beat us that year by 7 points in like 2013 or something. He said, Coach said, and I was going to out and get the ball, and I was going to score, and we're going to get the win. Y'all know, I just do
Yeah. Shout out to Blake Robinson, who says Derek Mason is the next to go. If you would have told me at the beginning of the season that before the season was over, Muschamp would be fired, but Derek Mason would still have a job, I would have laughed at you.
Derek Mason is not going to get fired. His team's improving dramatically.
This is real quick.
I wouldn't have agreed with all that.
They were an onside kick away from beating Kentucky yesterday.
Yeah.
At 10 a.m. tomorrow, there'll be a press conference with Ray Tanner, Mike Bobo, and a couple of football student athletes via Zoom on all the Gamecock websites. 10 a.m. tomorrow, there'll be a press conference with that. So it works out well. At 10 a.m. tomorrow, I have a little break from my job, actually, so I can actually watch that live.
Mike Bobo's
I'll be in on that press conference, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've had a good show this evening. This is probably the longest podcast we've ever done, video cast we've ever done. So we appreciate you guys joining us this evening. We'll keep you up to date. And Kale does great stuff on the Carolina Jackpot channel. If he hears any rumors or anything else, he'll get them out there for you. Of course, you can follow my show on Fox Sports Radio 1400. You can find that on the iHeartRadio app. Subscribe to the podcast. Comrades on Twitter at the Pesky Pole. Am I missing anything else, gentlemen?
I know. You ever listen to the Cover 3 guys from CBS Sports app, that little podcast they do?
I should. If you're telling me it's good, I need to.
I don't know, but there's one guy over there. His name Tom Fanelli or something. He's one of their little analysts that works over there, and he was. They had an emergency podcast last night or tonight. Lasted like 18 minutes about the firing of Muschamp, and he also echoed the sentiments about how stupid he thought it was to fire a guy when you got 3 games left in the season and your season's basically shit anyway. A waste of money. So,
Well, I'll stand by that. I know Gamecock fans wanted him to go, but damn, that's a hefty price. Even if you had to pay him one more freaking dollar, I would have been like, nah, you finish it out. Sorry.
I have one more tweet to read, though. One more tweet from Hayden Hurst. Everyone can say what they want about Coach, but I'll always be a Muschamp guy. In 2016, when I had my incident, I know what his incident was. He attempted to commit suicide. Ended up in the hospital 4 days. He called every single day asking to speak with me, even though they explained I could not get calls. Every single day. There's something about Will Muschamp.
Well, there you go with that. We all have, I guess some people have good or bad things they can say about it, but yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, I've enjoyed this show and appreciate you folks watching. And with that, this show's a wrap.